I'm running a pure stop entry system now. And I've intervened on top of the robot and taken profits before um, either the trailing stop got hit or whatever have you. Now, this robot, properly fitted to the ATR, can make a tremendous amount of money. It's not trading in the style of the limits that were being thrown out in a timed manner without any regard to the volatility of the market, where this robot actually can see the volatility and make a decision based on it. And I'm currently running 6 versions of it on one currency pair on the 4-hour chart, because if you run it on the 1-hour chart, it's going to get confused. So it's kind of a 4-hour dumb bot. ATR, I did a video and I got a bunch of hits because I titled it free. So maybe this would be the update to that video. But I kind of tried to use it as a scalping bot. And if you look at the code from this ATR bot and you do a search on the internet here. Okay, here's the original code. And I immediately saw a few problems here. Of course, I think maybe I'm going to try some of these settings, but to be honest with you, because I've been lying up to this point. And also here, you don't have to put in 300 to make 30 pips. This is actually going to realize that that's got to be 300. I think like normal stop ticket profits, where the linear, the grids that are being thrown out that will make money under the circumstances that the volatility fits that script. Otherwise, you're wasting order placements on stuff that'll never fill. There's got to be a balance between, in a Goldilocks trading system, or even a Robinacci, advanced Robinacci, pullback entry, quantitative limit, banker level, hidden turtle soup entries. You get to take into account all sorts of stuff, right? The unique thing why this robot makes money and made more money on a standard lot than the other micro entry limits that are not fitted to the current volatility. So what you're trying to do is adjust in advance of something chaotic to have a nested orders that are going to get picked up that are obvious zones of there's nothing there. It's like goes into flat earth territory, the vacuum. Now this one setting here, there's delta 15. Since I really want to get in before we get 15 pips away from current price, I took this down to 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. You'd almost have to write, and this is where it gets really a lot, it starts to become a job, is you have to make a 1, 2, 3 all the way to 15 bot. Don't change any settings here. Change one more setting on that array. Now you've got how many, right? Now you're blowing your brains out. You've got like exponential stacking of, and then you'd change the size. Now I'm going to change the size to keep track of and then I think you have to change this ID. I don't know. How many retries? This is very complicated. If anybody understands this code, then by golly, step in there. And I don't know how this affects it. I don't know how this affects it. Now this is the retries, and I have set that different, and I renamed the script, and the script is actually, this EA, I renamed the EA by the settings. So every time you see it's very long title to it, this way I can see the settings without opening up the code. That presupposes I've decided what the settings are going to be. Now this actually is not going to trade for 2 hours, and that's another test you'd have to run, and maybe it runs on the 1-hour chart. If it only looks at 4 hours of the 1-hour chart and the criteria here meets the needs of a logical entry from a breakout, And this is just one robot running now. Now you've got to get about 20 of these guys running, because to exploit the half-hour breakout maybe would be a very bizarre. Maybe it is going to trade micro lots, and it's just kind of barely making money, just like this stuff that is just the like the banks stay in business by charging fees, right? Because nobody doesn't go to the bank anymore. They closed the bank over here because it got cold out. Really, the ATM couldn't read the math on the check, so I had to reinsert it, and it was really. So I was going to call the bank and complain and get a refund by saying I came to the bank and nobody was there. Can I get a get out of jail free card? Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. So also on here, I see when I compile this code, there's a warning that, oh, that doesn't mean anything, and oh, what the fuck. So this is not the best code in the world, but this is as good as it gets for ATR blind bot. There's no directionality on this thing. It's just pure unadulterated math. Now the ATR period, I said very tight in the original robots. Here I'm giving it some slack, and maybe it's trapping at the edge of the ATR. I'd rather look back as tight as I can here and reduce the trading frequency by the time exposure, tighten the delta up maybe, and of course the most critical thing in the fucking world out here has got to be the size. If you make a 1K, a 2K, a 3K, all the way to 100K bots, that's 100 bots running at different take profits, different targets, different trailing stops. Now the trailing stop has made more money. So what happened was I was running the limits, and I started to run about 3 of these robots on top of the limits, which is a counter entry technique. And then here comes this robot, and it gets into a standard lot, and it runs a trailing protection. And this is actually too tight, I think, 22 pip stop. It's like a scalp, inverted scalp, and here he's got this initial risk of insanity and only trying to make 30 pips. But my robot, one of these, came in and took profits at $260 or $240. So that was a trade that I would have never done. I'm not going to sit there and enter a stop and then come in and move the stop and try to protect. I would see it probably up at 380 and get out. I mean, if I was in, it comes down to math. How much would you, if you're trading 10Ks, right? Now you can pull the trigger like 10 times now. You got 10 more bullets than having a bazooka, right? If you're sitting there with a standard lot, I think if you don't mind getting in and out and dancing with the market, that you could just, oh, I made $5, I made $40, ooh, I got out 20. You could see, oh, I can't take this, I'm getting out. Or you have a mental stop, which I don't agree with a mental stop. I figure it's better to write the trade plan, have a hotkey that buys at the market, except that you're trading with a 20 pip stop. You don't want to be in denial of reality that the moment that you're pulling the trigger may not be the best price in the world. So that's why if you have an array of limits that are sitting, and you can have a buy-only bot. The bots that I was running were unbiased, so the limit situation was throwing limits out on the clock without regard to ATR is pure just canvassing. And if the ratios are good, and you also get out when you if this intervene on top of the robot because he can't see these coming back up in the structure. Now, from a limit entry standpoint, once the market retraces, if it does come back to the seller's pivot, you need to get out and go flat, because it's ridiculous to sit there and tie up your margin. So going flat when you're up is like running a trailing stop in a way. It's like a trailing take profit, but you're making money all the time. That's the trick. You want to maybe in a Goldilocks world, you're flat half the time, and the other half of the time, you're getting filled on limits, and it's auto scalping out because you put in an array in a void that goes back 3 years. Now, it's going to take 2 years to get to the edge. The markets get to the edge. That's when things get scary. So the New Zealand dollar years ago almost made it above the American dollar. You were like 95 cents to the dollar. Now, going forward for the next 10 to 20 years, what's going to happen? So the dollar does go into dilution because once you, in other words, once the chaos and the insanity of society or whatever people perceive it to be dies down, and it doesn't matter, all markets go into the doldrums of sideways action, and there's just utter fair value, blatant, and low volatility. But then all you need is a ripple, or that actually creates the volatility. In other words, the sideways action is the cause for the insanity. And then the insanity is unsustainable because it equalizes just by a cycle of if you believe that the sun rises and falls, then you got to believe that the temperature swings and also the market swings in a that was one of Alexander Elder's metaphors, is that it's the winter time on the MACD and the first spring, and then there's summer, that's the trend, and then you go back into winter. So however metaphor you attach to the market is also going to control your view. So the non-directional trader says, I'm a quantitative analyst of volatility breakout, and I built that system. Next thing is you couldn't just live off of that because that is enough to maintain that strategy alone. Presupposing you have some big prop house, and but this is what I'm building is a virtual prop house. And then I save a profile of Mt4, and I have all those robots running in the profile with the EAs behind it, the templates, different colored templates for each robot. And then unfortunately, I can't get the name of the robot to be any bolder font. I don't know how to intervene upon Windows to force font bigger, but maybe I have to dig deeper into the more hellacious settings needed to wrestle through Windows 8, go through the roaming folders. What the fuck is going on? Roaming. I thought I had to have a roaming fee. I literally thought when I loaded Windows that when I saw that roaming, I go, oh my God, more roaming fees? Like I'm still paying off some roaming fees, I think. Wow, I don't want to roam around on my phone. That's pricey. I was like, holy shit, AT&T owns they put a lien on my fucking phone. But and this is called I use this comment here. So what'll happen is the comments come up, and then this number comes up also in the comments when you play back each robot. So I wrote about 10 more of these, 10 more versions of this thing. I would definitely turn this thing off because the last thing I want to do is email alerted on maybe you get a spreadsheet that's going to gobble up that email or something. That would be interesting. I don't think they have that, do they? I mean, they don't have a robot. Is there really a program that can gobble up your email? There's an Atr Ea. It's just spilling in from all your robots, and it's just putting it on a tote board, and it's just making bar charts and pie charts real time. They don't even have that shit. People are talking about I guess there's no need for that program, but maybe there is a program. Who knows what's going on out there? And then all this shit, I don't get this pool thing. I always think it says pool, but I have a clue. But we do have the trailing stop, even though it says warning, trailing stop is not even like forget about it. And this says open at the position of the market, so it trades at the market. I don't get it. It also has stop, and I don't know if that's a trailing after the market order. So maybe it is trading at the market, but it is using the ATR in a way, ATR period. And this increase must be some type of as soon as it expands, it gets in. So it's actually kind of not doing what I want it to do. I wanted to bracket it with stops and then get in and take the lag out. But apparently it's saying, oh, we've increased. Okay, get in. And it gets in at the market. And we don't know really what the spread is here in playback. With real time getting at the market, the spread could be bad, but it's about the frequency it trades and the fact that it runs a trailing stop. This is make this thing makes money. So I don't really know what all this is, and it's not over trading, I would say. On the 4-hour chart, it makes money. So here I'm playing it back currently inside of this demo account, and it's making money. Now out of the gate here it lost, and here's what it's doing, and I put up my template with I think a 50 pip grid. I'm not sure. So this is what the account's currently at, and here I can see in my history, so I had to start a fresh account so I can get a gauge here. So look at it, made $37. I suppose this was the trailing stop getting hit, but I guess not. This actually took profits, I think, where it was supposed to. I'm not sure about that. Because I don't see this flashed. I guess I gotta get rid of this comments. That's kind of, oh, this is where I got out. Okay, so I took profits manually here. If I don't see this flashing, the stop loss or take profit. Now here it was stopped out at the maybe a trailing stop or the original stop. Standard lots there. Then this is another one that I just said, you know what? And the market was about to go up, and I thought, no, sorry, robot, you're a fucking idiot. So I got out here, and that's another reason why the account is winning. I can see where I've intervened logically. If you would have seen the chart, you would have made the same. Trust me. And then I let it buy. It was right here, and it got taken out with the trailing stop to protect the account. Well, another money management exit, a winner. 2 winners on money management. Here we have a winner on money management because I know unless I see the take profit, we are not hitting our targets, but we are making money. It's something I wouldn't do. I mean, this is going to do something I wouldn't do. I'm not running a trailing stop with this thing. It's killing it because it's trading like a fucking goober. It's running a trailing stop. All winners here. These are actually taking profits I've gotten out before. Also, I've gotten out of this. There's my trade. But it's helping me. It's a good assistant. I mean, it's not the best. She's spilling coffee on my lap, but it's not so bad. I'm getting out here. I took all those. It's like a poker game. Got out winners here without letting the robot manage. Here, robot took a hit. I got out for the robot here, apparently. So yeah, I mean, not a lot of trading. But it added up. I mean, these 2 bangers here that I got out. But I'm letting the robot trade here. Now, here's the losing time of the robot. And what I'm doing is I can see logically where we're at, and I'm getting out before this drift down. And then here, tops become bottoms in equity. Of course, naturally. This is trading the market non-directionally, so you're seeing the the echo. Here's a top become a bottom in equity, right? I want to go into this guy's fund here. So if you're going to go look at your people trade mutual funds, you just chart it and say, oh yeah, mutual fund's getting hit. Let me get in. Let me scale into this mutual fund. Right, top become bottom. It's all the same. especially when this thing starts to get its ass kicked. But I'll tell you right now, watch this. I'm going to play this back, and I'll just put the code in the thing and put this video up. But watch me fast forward, skip to end of data, and it might get hit, but it's running a trailing stop. It's trading 35K, and it might get hit, and it really depends on what happens to the ATRs. This thing is non-directional trading. See, here is where you would get hit. Now it's getting hit, right? Because it just gets trapped in bad trades. But you have to, if I get time, I'll put up all these versions, but you have to, instead of curve fitting, you're going to have to volatility fit it to the currency you're trading. Now, if I put this on the British pound, if the stop is too tight, it's going to keep getting kicked out and never see the light of day. Also, while it's trading with the template, you can see where you need to put your orders. Here, it's not really making any money, but it's not losing too bad right here. And once you can see what it did in the data, it'll make sense because you can tell what it's thinking. It's a very simple approach to trading is volatility breakout trading, which that's all this is, non-directional volatility breakout trading. Here it's getting killed. I mean, if you opened your account here, you could have wiped it out if you had too much money in the account, right? So any pullback on this thing, and here it's getting clobbered. Sideways, now it's just getting annihilated. If you opened your account here, you'd just be you're getting killed. This is why you would need another robot that can somehow handle this move. And since this is only going to be 0.001 of your total equity, the other robot is doing, or you have a trend bot here, and you could build a trend version of this, I suppose, put another filter on it. But of course, having multiple, and here maybe you say your limit system is making money. Let's hope, right? Because if you open the account here, you're just getting killed on this. Because the way this is fit, if the volatility goes beyond the settings, I mean, this is running a fucking 9 pip stop, trying to make 28 pips. It's not even a greedy, this is almost break even. And I set the ATR to a real sloppy, and it's a 4-hour chart. So, look at that. Still up, but then if you set it to daily, and I wouldn't trade, I just wouldn't do these trades. I mean, it's kind of nice. It's going to take a long time to compile that. So I'm going to throw up the template that it's going to try to look at. Let's see if I can get some screen going here. I'm going to put in my template that's just got the RSI 2 period with the wicks, closing prices, and daily chart, daily breakout. Now here it's really obvious, I think, to anybody. If you're not going to, you're going to look at the prices, this looks like support, right? Anytime you see a bottom, I would say this is a good place to buy, just like here, never made it down there. That's what's a disappointment for people, I suppose. Here, just dipped in that window barely and then really dipped in. We're drifting sideways down this channel on the daily. I mean, the daily structures are pretty damn. You could really bet the ranch on some of these setups, although it took 3 months to up here. Okay, it's going to take a long time. I'm almost ready to play back the market here now. I'm going as fast as it'll go, but the template's slowing it down a little bit because the RSI math. But that is the daily. I will let the robot trade it, and then I'll try to call out the trades as if we were really trading this. I think this is the 50 pip grid. And I'm going to stretch it out inside of properties. Fix the scale. Oh, just put a trade on. And it's already out. I don't know if it made money here. Let me take a look. Oof. We got beat up there. Okay, so let's imagine that we have, this is the daily euro dollar. And just try to picture yourself placing buy limits here all the way down. Just go out, get a bank loan, whatever you need to do. And just put buy limits in there. And now go to the next currency if you're going to trade another currency. And also you could just go out to the store and come back and see, hey, did that fill? You should be able to test out all these theories here. Now, would you put a buy stop here? Well, a lot of people would. I'm sure a retail guy that's been told, okay, well, if this is the bottom, and here's the trend line, and you know, you can also see the scalps you could have in here. But I have, don't forget, I've got buy limits here. Now I want to put buy limits here, just for scalping, next 8 hours, and hopefully when now this is Asia, we just closed, and this is just blow by blow, you know. This isn't even divergence here, but that was a great double bottom in RSI. Really didn't diverge, but what an amazing walk down into this. I think we all could figure out that this was the reason for that. This deep basement price, this shelf. And then we've got this whole void that's just itching to be bought here. Waiting to get filled. Still not filled here. And then we have our scalps. Scalping on the daily. It's not going to matter, trust me. So you go to a 1 minute chart and watch the market go through. You know, as you sit here on a daily chart, can you trade off the daily charts? Can you scalp off a daily chart? Yeah, because you can see right here, you've got an order bank in here to cash out to here. So you're already prepared to buy all the way down here. Okay, they're just starting to fill me a little bit. Waiting for London to open. I think a lot of people have gone short here. They're up. I'm sure if we went to the 5 minute chart, we could find some type of void in here that just got scooped. Right, this is the cup and handle trade. I was talking to a trader. We talk about the cup and handle trade, but you want to buy the saucer, right? You want to buy the saucer, and all the goobers are going to get. Oh, we just got filled on a scalp. You see that? This is the daily chart. We are scalping on the daily. Okay, we're long, and we're out. And look at it punch back and forth. Now I'm running trailing buy limits very close to the market now. You're just rehearsing what's going to happen. Oh, they just took out. Oh, blew through Asia. There we go. Boom. People are cashing out at that round. Bam, they're out. Coming back for more. Now we got filled on our limits. We all know what happened there. You should be able to play back the market and imagine yourself trading. Visualization is definitely the key. Coming in my sell limits. Oof, somebody just made a ransom. Damn. Oof, the end of the day. Wow, whole day's gone. Look at that. Asia coming back for another try at the line of scrimmage. They load in the wagon. Oof, coming back to fill me on limits. Here we go. It's like a sports game. Got to call it out like a fucking auctioneer. Bam. Oof. There she goes. Breakout's work. Oh, breakout. Pull back. Is it a real breakout? Come back to the line of scrimmage. Bam. Look at that fucker, man. You can imagine your mind's eye 15-minute chart. That's a whole fucking day. Oh, robot took a trade. It went long. Look at that. Because of the increase in the ATR, it's very sluggish. The bad settings. So, I think it's a fail for the robot because I wanted him to get in here. See on this increase. Low ATR, increase, just get the fuck in. I don't want him waiting. See, I could see there's already a problem. I gotta go adjust the code. I want him in. That's why I take him down to the 4-hour chart. And I don't feel bad about directing the robot, but he made money, see. The funniest thing is that he took that dumb shit trade and made money. And look at this dumb shit trade lost money. But that's running a 9-pip stop on the daily chart. It's ridiculous. I'm thinking settings of 1. He should be in here. He should be in here. On these low ATRs, I mean, this is just a problem. Low ATR, get in non-directionally. Bam. Low ATR. Autofill, low ATR, autofill. Here, low ATR, and I don't know what this robot's thinking now, to be honest with you. Anyways, the sell limits have been filled, and getting killed here. Buy stop, sell stop, non-directional. We're going to blow this out, or are we going to come smashing back? We're blowing that out. We're coming after this. We're coming after that. And if you ever watched this happen, it's just mind-boggling. As this fills this hole, and it's just on a fucking, it's on a jamboree pounce. Oh, sellers are on that rooftop. Bam. They're scalped out. Look the fuck out now because they're coming after this one. But yeah, those scalpers, they had their fun there. Coming back here, buyers are sitting here. They're sitting there. They're sitting there. And the scalpers cleaned up on that. They're going to pull it back to that rooftop. Bam. Here comes the confirmation traders. That was the breakout. Let's get back in at the breakout point. Oh, no, they're getting slammed. Oh, boy. Can they take it to here? It's like big-time wrestling. You need to really think about that because if this is the 1 minute, you could trade the 1 minute chart. I was kind of saying bad things about the crackheads that want to trade the 1 minute chart. But if this is the 1 minute chart, you're like, dude, I got limits here, limits here. This is 5-pip handles instead of 50 now. We've all seen this kind of insane action. Okay, the confirmation guys have got in here at this rooftop, and they are loading the wagon, and they want to ride it to here. And then they know the sellers are going to start right here and right here, the new sell range. We've already milked this area. Come back. The counter scalpers are making fucking counter trend scalpers. Now here comes the buy limits. People still want this price. They're like, not yet. They want this price. They want this price. This one, this one, this one. These guys are just in heaven, hog heaven. They're like, oh, we're taking back to this breakout. Not just this breakout. We're taking it back to this one. Watch. And the daily, you have a perspective of market depth that's well beyond the 4-hour chart. You can see the game here. And they didn't quite get that, but boy, they came close. And if you had your limits sitting here, trailing on the daily, you are up, right? You're loving it, right? Uh-oh, we got bad data here. Early gap opened. So we'll look at that. Oh, the robot went short there and made money. That was pure brilliance. I agree with the robot. See, robot just made money. Anyways, there you go. Song remains the same. Look at that gap. Wow, Jesus. That is some crazy shit. Look at that gap. That's why I knew there was some bad data in here somehow. Something was getting, this would blow up. Of course, this robot was flat into that move. And it came in on a sunny night and got into that. That's got to be a Sunday night gap open. Look where the limit guys are getting in precisely at the bankers level. Oof. The bankers level. Yeah, there's bankers and institutional guys lined up right there. I don't see anybody. Yeah, You need the Robinacci glasses. If you signed up for the Robinacci glasses, now that would be something worth making a mug out of. The Robinacci sunglasses, they had those x-ray glasses in the back of the magazines when I was a kid. You had to buy Crazy Eyes. Now, I wonder if there's any buyers here. We know there's sellers all the way into this thing for any kind of kickback out of that. And here we come. Coming up on that window. Now, if we could only go to the 1 minute chart, but we can kind of see the 1 minute chart behavior inside of this bar right now. Bam. Oof. Breakout traders. Look, I'm making money. I made money on that. Look at that robot step in there. What a genius fucking robot. Look at that. I'm telling you. Imagine 10 robots just jumping on that. Just that's how you gotta have manage these retarded bots. Tard bots. Now I'm thinking, for me, manually trading it, I'm going to start to put in my limits here, or press a button that drops limits. Hopefully I got filled on some of these without getting stopped out. That's a 50 pip pop. The bears have them by the scruff of the neck and pulling all the way back in, cashing out into these trailing. So we're trading backwards. We don't really trade the breakouts. Here the slippage would have been brutal if you had a buy stop sitting here into the weekend. As soon as they open up here, this is where you get burned on a fill of a pending buy stop. So you get trapped and raped and left for dead in the gutter. Look at, we didn't quite get filled on that. So we had this trailing bank running all week here. We don't want to go to the 4-hour chart, the 1-hour chart, because it's just not worth it. We know that this here is where the sellers are living now, because they've already cleaned out this one zone, right? So in order for you to get used to what could possibly happen, you just play back in Strategy Tester your template. And if you think your RSI works, and I see a signal forming now, we're now more oversold, and the market's higher, and the trend traders are coming in here. They just stop hunted that last day by just a few pips, and this is where you want to get in. You don't want to be on the. This is the scalp too. Don't forget. You're auto scalped out. See, they just took out the high that day. They crushed this thing. That thing, boom. What do you think's happening next? Now, everybody's probably flat that's scalped. That's Asia. That's a doji. We're done. Here comes the trend traders. They're buying, but we could still raid here. And I've got limits pending here for this huge scalp swing. We could still come back to the original breakout point of this fractal. This is the Williams fractal because this is the finger sticking up. This is the pullback. And Williams, his mistake is that he's waiting for that other thing. Forget it. It's only a 3-candle fractal. Why are you waiting for that other 5th? It's ridiculous. These markets don't care about. Look at that doji. Look at that. Here comes the trend traders. This is breakout and everything going on now. Oh, they just trapped. See, somebody scalped off the top of that day. Now we could go crush back all the way in. I've got buy limits sitting here all week now, waiting for that fill. Look at that. Look at another. So the breakout bots are long on the daily. Here comes the big boys, so to speak, or whatever you want to. The people that are saying, I think I should get out because this is impending doom. This vacuum up here is going to literally rip the bear's face off. And this could be brutal, right? Everybody's aware of that. We still come back now. Look at this, 2 days of nothing. End of the month. And yikes, right? What could possibly go wrong? The next, so we have a void all the way to that insane wick. I don't know if that's good data there. Could be, but it looks like this is typical market behavior. Rips up into here, and the impending void. Oh, my little robot just put a little trade on. How cute. Trying to make 28 pips here. Now look at run that trailing stop so tight. Look at that. It's still in it. That's amazing. It got taken out by a money management rule. See? So that's how that rolls. And we see the vacuum. I wish it would have stayed long. Maybe the trailing stop was too tight. Here we come up in the seller's window. People are cashing out. There's the first scalp. You see it punch back. Here you go, coming up on the 50-yard line, and then the big giant wick top way the fuck up here. Okay, sellers are in. Pull it back to the breakout point. See if they can make any money on this. Yikes, it's just scary now. This is where people are like, holy shit, there's still a void above us. Okay, the bears cleaned up on that. Buyers will be sitting at these wick tops. We got to bounce off that. They didn't quite make it. Now the bears are running for their lives. Short squeeze to heaven. Wow. The sellers sold the new high of the day for the scalp. Coming back to brutalize the high of the day. Now it just goes nuts, and my robot takes so long. Like an idiot. Because it just got killed on that trade. Not killed, but that's retarded. Too late. We got to tighten up the settings on that one. Oof. The hell was that? Okay, we do take that trade. Yeah. Oh boy, here's coming all the way back to starting gate. How about that? And the robot goes short. What a fucking idiot. Yeah, these robots are ridiculous. That was the buy limits getting filled right there. Now you have trailing buy limits. Look at how these bears took the heat getting in on new highs right around that 50. Now we got the buy limits trailing. All right, so it's a constant battle getting filled on limits now. Got some scalps built into that. Okay, we cashed out to the floor. Now another punch down. Come on, another 20 pips, more scalpers. More, it's going to go lower. Going to take out the low of this day, almost certain now. Just too close. Just forget about it, right? Here we go. Finally getting that deep fill. And we really are looking to take out this. We have more orders here. Now here's where we really get in heavy. And right at that wick, our scalps are sitting right in this, the edge of that. We've scalped out. Most people have more fills. I think it's still going to go. I think it's still going to take out this possibly. Okay, now we're cashing out. Hopefully we are almost flat at this point into here. This is the old floor, new ceiling. It's going lower, almost certain. And we're also looking to have these limits get gobbled up. Okay, we bought new lows. We've scalped. Now it's losing volatility. The days are getting quieter a little bit. Kind of fizzling at the edge. Everybody's aware of this. Price. The void. Another chance to buy. Probably a nice double bottom on the 4-hour chart there. Here comes slamming back up. Okay, cashing out. Here comes the breakout bots. Gonna get filled on this top. Low volatility. Coming in this. Oh, okay, great. Finally filled. And here we have a big fat ticket. We cashed out into the floor. Cashing out now on scalps. Okay, we're flat maybe. Now buy limits again. Because I don't think we're done torturing the bulls. And we're just waiting. Hopefully we made enough money on this day. A daily view of the market. And the robot has not taken one fucking trade. Okay. A lot of people. So holding on to half your account at this point. That's the trend. Traders pull back, stop, hunt, entry. RSI was telling us to start buying we would have bought this one for this move, right? Because you can see the reversal here. Right, so we have a triple. Here is the target is based off of taking this, adding it to the highest close in there. Then we get another buy signal here. More of a sold. Still, well, kind of slumped down a little bit, but that's why structurally we know that this trap is the ultimate entry, and even the low risk goobers got in here. Buy stop, no fill, or get trapped on this one, but make it up here. And now it's in sell territory. As we come up into this void, going after this wick top here, and it's just an absolute smash into, and don't forget this void here, we're adding this vacuum, this pent up demand or supply, what do we want to call it, and into fresh territory. Very violent. People are selling that. Here comes Asia. They're like, oh, still drifting up. And this is where people that have sell limits peppered in here better be ready for another 50 pips every day up into that. It's paying off for them now. They got filled on this insane price in here. This is all fresh water. RSI just smashed the, we're still expecting this to crush up. Yeah, you could jump on the 4-hour or 1-hour train in that, but we are looking for this to just go nuts. And this thing just went long. This is the dumbest robot in the world. But with money management, that's what I'm saying. The dumbest trading in the world with money management is going to make money. Look, it just barely lost on that. It had ran the trailing stop of 9 pips. I mean, it's just ridiculous, the robot I'm running here on daily. But look, it's making money. It's kind of under trading the market. I mean, it literally is up. The account is up $138 on 14 trades. So it works. And I wish it would have went short right there. So, okay, the bears are finally just going, holy shit, thank God that's over. Now, if you were the guy that every day it's up, you're selling, you can see how you're going to get killed on that. I would wait till it breaches this level and you sell at the market and you sell at the market. Selling at the market here is ridiculous because obviously you can tell that this vacuum is not quite this cup and handle. This is the cup is not filled yet. I know that the retail guys are going to get in on the handle and have a stop at the cup. But if you bought the saucer, right, you want to buy the saucer, people. Cup and handle patterns, you need to have the balls to buy the saucer or assume there's a saucer. If you want to assume there's Fibonacci on the Earth's flat, you need to assume that you're there now. Are you there now? Here comes the trend traders for another attempt, but we have buy limits pending now in this void. If we are bullish, we expecting one more whatever slam. The trend guys are buying this pullback. That's the only time and this is also the only relief for the bears. Don't forget the guys that scalped that 50 pip window need to get the fuck out. They're like, uh-oh, we still not filled this void. Don't forget, we still look back here. This is the target. Everybody has the same fucking target. Because the market has the target. It's not people. The market has the target. This is already, these potholes have already been laid. Okay, the sellers are in. They're scalping. They need to take it back to the high of that day and they're going to get out. They need to see this. There's probably buyers there, but that's a little bit too close to the market. The bears are going to take this puppy to here and maybe here. Oh, look at that. See? Still to the void. The void is too much. The void is too much. Here's our sell window. People that are early bears are making money though. They just went short there. I'm sure you can see the whole. Okay, here's Asia. People are just going, oh my God, they're going to come after me. People are buying back because they're like, oh, Besides, don't forget, there's that void is just, it's got to be filled, man. Okay, the bears are loving it now. They probably take this down into this black line right now. And this is what blows people's minds. If you're on the 1 hour chart right now, you'd be like, look at all these great entries with my 13 period moving average. Yeah, I got that. But dude, I mean, look at this. You are short. You're trading the daily chart and you're just going, they're taking it back to here. Here we go. Making money now. The bears are loving it. They got in here at the 50. Boom. Now what just happened there? Okay, maybe we're still, now I'm getting filled on my limits, right? Boom. And the bears are cashing out. We all agree this is the pivot. We all know this is the pivot. This is a pivot in time. This is a pivot on wicks. I got buy limits that go like this now. You got to keep changing up. You can't be the same. You need to put buy limits in here now. Maybe you are short. They just took out the low of that day. That was a scalper's entry. The trend scalper's entry. They've scalped out. They're out. Sellers come in for a little bit there. This is Asia. Now we go pounding down into Limitville. Or people are short on this going, oh, that's the fucking top. You think this is the head. You assume this is the shoulder. Right? This is the other shoulder. But you got to be willing. This even the you got to be willing to sell here, right? You got sells up here now. We still haven't filled that void that goes way back. Right? Everybody and their mom's going to have an order to sell here. I guarantee you. This window's insanely critical. But in the meantime, the battle goes on. They're saying this is the shoulder. You can see the bear argument. And they're going to claim they're right. Look, it's going down. RSI has given us a buy signal. We would have went long here on this. And hopefully got out of something here because look at the bears are right. That's a shoulder. We're getting filled on limits now. That was our scalp window right here. Hopefully we scalped out of something there. Boom. We know the exit's here now. That's the wick floor. Closing structure here. Still itching to get filled on limits here. Boom. Boom. Easy money. Big fat ticket here. A really fat ticket here. Bam, we're out. We scalped out. Everybody's getting out here. Everybody just went flat. The guys that buy new low and still oversold, and you draw your trend line off of this now. This is also a triangle, daily triangle. We get the supposed stop hunt here. Got it with a hammer. We'd still revisit here. We're maybe not done. Now we're going to try to shear off these wicks and go for the final assault on that window. We expect the scalpers to scalp off of that top, this top, and this. Okay, they cashed out. Oh, another run at that. Here comes Asia. Now you're tipping into the window. It's the end of the month. Huge bull run. We were looking for a final blow off into that top there. Bears have made money on that one. They cleaned up by selling this vacuum. And what else? We are buying down here again for a dead cat bounce. Here comes the trend traders on the clock. They're buying any pullback they can get before the final assault on this window, I'm assuming. Okay, they're hitting the targets. They're hitting the sell orders. Bam. Scalpers just made money on that. Back to the breakout. One more attempt into the void. And sellers will come in and rip it back. And here's where it's going to be every man for himself. Is this going to be the structure that holds? Cut in new highs, and we have to be willing to sell into that for the scalp back to the breakout. Or have they trapped right here? That's the question. Yeah, the bears are going to make some money on that. They sold the top of that. Punching down. This is the new critical window. We've satisfied the top. Here comes the on the clock traders. 1 day back they buy. They buy every pullback they can get. It's not a reversal. It could come down to here. I'm a buyer down here on close. The pressure's building up. We have 2 days to blow out. Sellers are coming in just above that. And we're selling on limits. Anything above here, we have a raise placed for that trade. Oh, looks like the bears are still torturing the bulls here. It's a whole different perspective, this daily chart. Okay, we're getting filled on limits. Beautiful. So the bears really made some money on that dumbass trade. Wow, we are long on limits. We've scalped out to this floor. We're loving it. One fantastic day of trading without ever looking at a fucking 1 minute chart. Now they've locked in. We finally got our reversals, or more oversold, higher price. And look at the way RSI behaves. You can see what it's thinking. You can see the math. So it's low, coming below here now. More oversold, higher price, more fills on limits. Another wonderful scalp. Just a dumbass trade. Don't look at the 4-hour chart. Everything's placed in advance. I mean, it's just stupid. Huge fill here. We had pendings here all week long. We don't move those until they get filled. Okay, another assault. I expect this to crush now. Now it's going to be a huge pullback. And this divergence. So anybody that traded this divergence, triple, well, not quite, this last is a failure. But we don't care. We're just getting in structurally here on limits. Waiting for the close RSI. Still a possible setup here. More oversold, higher price. You see that just happened. More oversold, but price is higher by this much now. Right, and this now the setup's being created. If this is going to be a buy setup on time, and we have a monster doji now. If your system can't trade this monster doji, then you're like, uh-oh. You can barely see the candle fatness here, but it's open to close. Still waiting another day. We could still pound down lower. Now we're creating this huge pattern on the daily. It's just immense. I mean, fractally speaking, there's buy pressure. There's a void here to fill, and they just stop hunted that last day. We still got buy limits here all month long. The monthly settings on the limit thing made so much money you can't believe it. But you need an account that you can drop monthly orders into, and just let them sit there. You don't even look at the account. At the end of the month, you look at the account. I bet it made money. I bet it. I guarantee you that if you put in a 30 pip stop and a 300 pip stop, you know the risk going in every month is a low frequency trader. So it's kind of like a knitting. If you're at the knitting factory, you know, or if you're knitting manually, that's a low frequency trader. But if you have a embroidering machine that's you know, just smashing out stuff, you know, just zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, they just broke out the high of the day here. Here comes the goobers. We're starting to go after these. That vacuum's filled. Now we have the monster vacuum above. So same scenario. This mini vac sideways. We can't go sideways forever. We're sitting at that trend line. That trend line held. RSI gave us the entry criteria. More oversold, higher price. Smashing move. Now here's where you really want to build your position, and you just let it go. Bam, fresh territory. We still have this cashing out now into this void. We know there's sellers. They're going to scalp it back to the breakout. They've had their scalp and all the way back. I suppose this is going to be quite a battle here. We could come all the way to here now. We still have limits pending here. We're flat. We got limits. Bam. Okay, here comes the and they just crushed us. But we have limits here that we've had all here. Now, look at this is what people just can't believe when the markets do this shit. They're like, what the fuck? If you are on the 1 hour chart during this, you'd be like, what in the... really? And you think Fibonacci works. After watching this, do you really think Fibonacci works? For you to maximize a move like this, are you kidding me? Sell limits here galore. Look at this. This is going to be insane. They're coming into my buy limits now. All month, I've been dying to buy here for a bounce on scalps. Look how vicious this market is. You really want to be a Forex trader? And go to the one... Look at this. Can you only imagine what this looks like on the 1 minute and the 15-minute chart? Your conception of how to get into that trade is completely different than the guy that's gobbling up buy limits right now that he's had here all fucking month. And he's cashing out. They have scalps built into this shit. You can plot these things in advance. There is no need to be fucking babysitting these goddamn markets. You know, you have to have the trust. You have to trust and believe that the market is destined to fill a vacuum, and then once it's done filling, it's satisfied. And look at how these limits finally get filled. And look at how these limits finally get filled at the very edge of the market. That's your edge. You want a trading edge? Trade at the edge. It's that fucking stupid. This buy in RSI, look at how once this thing, if you didn't get out, well, you know there's sellers, that you're an idiot. Well, I mean, not an idiot. You just don't understand that this is a triple top. You can say what you want about Head and Shoulders. In other words, the guy that looks at Head and Shoulders on a Wix is going to say, shoulder, head, shoulder. Head and Shoulders work. Trend lines work. Look at this trend line. It touched my trend line. But my question is, were you babysitting the daily chart, and when it came up here, you pulled the trigger because on the 1 hour chart, you saw a fucking hammer? I think that is the most harebrained shit I've ever heard in my life. Well, I trade the candle patterns mixed with... Dude, if you didn't think that this was going to be a place that the sellers were at, you're probably the same guy that didn't think there was any sellers here, and you rode it all the way fucking back to here. We can see what's going on. You don't need ICT to tell you that this is the high of the day, and there's sellers here. There's buyers here, and we are buying here. This whole... Oh, we're getting filled. There you go. All right. We know we're going to scalp to here now. We're out of that trade. Scalp's over. How many tickets do you have in there? How much work do you want to do? Do you want to look at this daily thing? Are you looking at this trend line? Oh, trend line broke. I went long. Okay, that was ridiculous. You got to be thinking of this hole. It's forming all the time. We have a doji. It's quiet. Now what? We can see all the limit buyers, they're going to be at break even when we hit here. We watch the tick. We watch the price slam into this thing on playback. Same story over and over again, every week, every hour, every day. This pattern does happen on the 1 hour chart, but you would actually have to be long here and out here. If this is the 1 hour chart, so we don't have to go to the 1 hour chart. This is a perfect version of the 1 hour chart. We buy here, right? We're long here. We're already out. We're up on that trade. We're up every time this thing is able to creep back into here. Now, granted, this is the daily chart. It's the same fucking pattern. We know this is a big deal. Comes down in, dips in the well, comes back out, cashes out into the wick floor and the closing floor. Bottoms become tops in time. People sell this without regard to RSI. Well, so here's the trap, or the little baby vac gets filled. There's no follow through. Now this vacuum here gets filled like that. Boom, done. Never makes it to our limits. Never makes it to our limits. Filling this vacuum. Still want to go after this. We still have a little bit left. I deleted those objects, but still have all the way to here. That was the final target. Well, I had a lot of patience, so I stayed in the market during this whole pullback. Holy shit. Now, I get, if that was a 1 hour chart, I'd say, okay, I got it. But then where do you draw the line? Should you trade the 15-minute moves inside the 1 hour and be like scalping really big? Do you just put a sell limit here like an idiot and capture this, even if it's a 4 hour chart? How do you set your trades up? Are you going to buy this void? Are you going to sell this void? If you sold this void into this one, it made money. You just got to look at the price movement, decide, do you want to be a buyer here, even if the market's here? Would you buy if the market came back here? If the answer is yes, place an order. If the answer is no, don't. Maybe you buy every day it pulls back. I bought. You're long a 3K. Goes up 3 days. I'm getting out. Or you buy more here and you go, I should probably get out because it's making new highs. Oh, the 52-week high has been taken out. There's people that actually trade the new 52 high, which is this fucking robot's doing, practically. Look, it's kind of making money. It's getting. Now here's what's getting clobbered. Now it's making it back. Whew, it's making genius moves now. We're still punching into the void. Here we go. This is the daily chart. This is the last of the Mohicans. This is the blow off top. We're filling this vacuum, which is so much pent up vacuum, and we're going to try to trip the wire here. Go into this window that goes way back. All the way. Oh, we missed it. We cleared the wick. See, we came so close to that wick. Oh, now the seller's in like crazy. Ah, they will cash out to the wick top here. Of course they're in like mad. Can't you see that? Look at that. Oof. Just nick the top of that. If you had sell orders on that, and you're just in, watch how they behavior at this window. So we can see all the way across. Nice thing about this charting is that this price is actually all the way through that price. Boy, now your sells are making money. You just made quite a bit of pips there. High probability pips. We know that's going to be a high reaction window. That sellers are like, oh my God, please go down. More selling. You got to be willing to sell for the next 50 pips on this. Really big. Boom. Now you're really selling. Sell, sell, sell. Sell. Oh, what a day of selling. Autofill. Weren't even there for it. Oh, cashed out of some scalps. You have to. Got to cash out. Got to cash out. Got to cash out. Boom. Now, supposedly the buy confirmation guys got orders sitting here at the breakout. I think they're going to get crushed. Here's where it's going to get really spicy. Looks like not, but hopefully now you got more sell limits coming in. I don't think it's worth chasing it. I have all sell limits now. Now look where you're at. What's the next target? This wick top. It's so stupid. We are short big time now. Okay. Now we're holding, hoping we can get some pullback here. It's very scary. We have to sell more now. You have to sell more. Sell, 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 sell. That's the big window. Hopefully you scalped out of something. You have to sell all the way into this now. Now on the smaller time frames, the 1 hour time frame, or the 4 hour, you're probably buying every 4 hour pullback. But you don't have to. You could just have sells in here. You're making money now. Now your target has to be something like this top. Otherwise, you're fucked. You had to scalp out of something there. More selling coming. But people wonder why these are such brutal cut. The momentum is so high is because that vacuum, if you've ever had a vacuum get filled, it's like woof, and then it's over. Okay, you're still short into this now. Counter. I'm totally on the sell limit fills here. We're into that critical window. Now the next critical window is way back here. And I don't know if we filled that, but we have to be aware of this wick top. No fill. We're going to ride the storm out now. Now we have to hold this bearish position all the way back to the high of this day. And it's pretty tough. if you overloaded the sell limit thing. I still think we could pull back some more. So that was quite a move. And we still have buyers at this breakout pending, waiting to get in. So now I'm going to hold the short maybe until it can take out the low of this day. But it's pretty scary for the bears because they realize this impending doom, this window. So hopefully you cashed out of something there. That's it. I'm very nervous if I was short here, but you really have to have the patience, I guess, to wait one more day. Phil Collins, just one more day. Boom. Finally, okay, you're cashed out. And here comes the stop hunt on the bulls. The smart money is going to buy up these limits. You're still holding your shorts. Now, this is very hard because if you were, don't forget, you're white knuckling into that with very wide stops now. I'm supposing you have a swing trade on. Okay, so that, we could still go lower now. We have a reversal in RSI. We're more oversold at a higher price. This is very oversold. We know we're higher. It's the first chance to get in oversold. I think we're still going to crush down. So you have to hold your bearish mentality here and wait for your ultimate target. It's going to be this breakout. But maybe you're scaling out at this point. Definitely, it's hard to think. I mean, when you see this smashing up like this, a lot of people wouldn't believe you're selling into that. They just wouldn't believe you. They think you're nuts, but you're up 100 pips on this top ticket. Still waiting for more pullback. And, you know, I still think we could go lower here. I'm at the maximum playback speed. This is a good playback speed. The scalpers have had their fun. The ones that bought that vacuum are cashing out into this. See how that price movement looks right there? This was the cash out point, and they didn't quite make it. Still going lower, still filling limits. Now, hopefully, I've cashed out on some stuff. The robot just went short like an idiot. Just got stopped out. But we had bought this, and we scalped to here. So you can see the scalpers have already gotten out. They bought new lows. They scalped to this. That's a scalp window. Now we move our scalp window down because that's been hit and done. Now we think about this window to place pre-planned limit entry. And that's it. There's nothing else you can do about it. And I guess if you want to be aggressive, you have trailing limits here now. We could retest this and make a double bottom. Possibly. It's in a pretty fierce stampede. I mean, it's a huge, you know, these guys never got filled on their buy limits if they had them pending here. They never quite made back to the starting gate. A little bit. Right? This is the last known breakout. We didn't make it back to that, though. People that are buying any pullback they can get, realizing that there's a huge void still to be filled. And this is like 2016, I think. Don't forget, see all these wicks up here. And this is also coming up on this. Everybody's aware of these prices. Way up there at this point of the story. It's a plot to stampede short squeeze. Coming up into fresh water now again. We're going to sell above here now if we make it. And now we're buying on limits again here. And now it's going to be like, well, what's the ATR? Okay. We're creating a fair value zone now. We're in the middle of it. We want to buy here for this retest, or just because it's low. We got buy limits trailing on the daily now. We went short on the high of the previous day. The bears have sold that window, and they cashed out, and now the ATRs are dropping, and we're creeping up on the RSI still has this oversold higher price situation. We look to buy if it dips below here on RSI. price is still up, but we're getting filled in some limits here. Got a limit box. And just waiting. Waiting for that final assault. I wish I could speed that up. The robot's making money, what can I tell you? Now, this is why money management, trailing stops, even though you hate to get out if you're an investor, you kind of want to buy and hold strategy. But that's that, and that's how it is. So, good luck with that.